In the previous class, we have studied about some of our error handling techniques. So that is try, catch, throw, and finally. Now we'll move to our next topic, that is function scope. As the name suggests, scope means range of particular variable. Okay, scope means range. So we'll decide the scope of variables we declare, like this variables over here. Okay, so we will fix the scope of these variables. So let's see. First we will make our new file over here, and here we will use comment and write our topic over here, function scope. So there are two types of scopes. Okay, you can you can limit the variables. Okay, first is local scope and second is global scope. Sorry, I'll comment this out first. Okay, so first is local scope, second is global scope. Okay, so these two types of scopes are there. So what is a local scope? Suppose here we will define something, variable text txt equals to hello world. Suppose we are writing this hello world and we are storing it in our text variable over here. And suppose now what we'll do, we'll write a function over here. Just a minute. Function. We can give any name you want. I will give my function over here, and we'll have some any code over here. Okay, some code over here. Okay, so what we are doing is, here we are assigning this variable outside the function, means this will be scoped if we give this particular variable inside this function over here. So this variable is now scoped, means it is limited to this function only. Okay, we can't assign the values of this variable outside the function. If we assign it globally like this, so like this, if we assign it globally, means outside the function, so we can use the values over here. Okay, we can use the values of that text variable over here. Okay, so now we can use the values of this text variable over here. So let us check how can we do that. So first we'll target this txt. We'll first target our paragraph, that is our index.html. First we'll change the link over here, index13.js, and here we have two paragraphs over here. You can see, so I've commented out this. So I will first comment out this and I will comment out these. So we have two. Here you can see here we have two paragraphs. Okay, first id is para and second one is has para1 id. So we'll target that. So what we'll do is we'll target that particular paragraph by using document dot get element by id para dot inner html equals to, we want to output this variable over here. Okay, so let us check what is the result over here. Okay, so what we are doing is we are assigning this txt variable and we are using this value over here inside this function. So let us check what is the result. So we'll use this over here. So let us check we have. Okay, So it should come inside this paragraph, it should come txt over here. Okay, this hello world. Okay, so it is not coming. Suppose we will use this thing outside the function, suppose here, and we'll output this in para1 over here. Okay, now let us save and check if it is coming or not. So now it is coming hello world. Why? Because here this text value, txt variable is accessed outside the function. It cannot be accessed inside the function. So what I have done is I have assigned a value inside this text variable globally. Globally means outside the function. Okay, so our function is this, and we have assigned this value outside the function, and we are accessing that value from outside the function, not from inside the function. So this is now called global scope over here. Okay, global scope. So this is called as global scope over here. If we assign this value, now you check, this value is not coming over here. So here we are getting this hello world from para1 over here. Okay, so let us use another variable. Suppose str equals to hi John. So now we are using this str over here, and now we'll use this str, and let us check if it gives us the result or not. So we'll refresh it here, just a minute, document.getElement by id. So here actually what is the problem over here is we are not calling this function over here. Whenever you write a function, it is necessary to call it somewhere. Okay, suppose I will call from, just write that particular function name and like this. Okay, so we are calling the function, okay, like this. So here now we are calling this function from here. Okay, so let us refresh, let us see if it gives the result or not. So now it is giving us hi John over here. So it is coming from this line over here. So what we have done is we have assigned a local variable inside this function, and we are assigning the values, this str values, we are assigning this values to this paragraph, and which is inside this function only. Okay, suppose here let us access this value, str value, which is inside this function over here. We want to access the value outside the function. Okay, so let us check if it returns the value or not. So here we have assigned the str value outside the function. So let us check. So now it is not coming hello world or hi John. So from here it is coming hi John, but it is not coming from over here. Okay, so what it does is when we are assigning this variable globally, so we can access the variable outside the function. If we are assigning this variable inside the function, so we can access the values from inside the function only. Okay, so this is the variable global and local scope. So this is called the local scope over here. So because why it is called local scope, because it can be accessed locally, means it can be accessed only from inside the function. And it is called global scope. Why it is called global scope? Because it can be accessed globally, means it can be accessed from outside the function, like from here. Okay, so this is the main difference between the local and a global scope. Local scope, we can access the variables from inside the function, and the global scope variables, we can access it from outside the function. Now we will move to our next topic, that is this. This is a keyword, means it is used for referring something. Okay, it actually means is it refers to the owner of the object. Means when we use an object, so we can use this pointing to the owner. Suppose here, like when we use like if we suppose here in an object, when we write, suppose we'll take an example over here. Suppose here I am writing an example over here, person equals to suppose some code over here. Okay, and then what we are doing is we are mentioning another function over here. Okay, so it has also some key values pairs over here. Okay, like this. So what it is doing is this here, if we suppose if like use this here, suppose here what we'll do is we will suppose we'll give some values over here, key 1, and we'll suppose give some values, value 1 over here, like this, key 2, value 2. So like this we are giving two values over here. Suppose what we want is we want to access its key 1 value. Okay, this value over here. So how can we write this inside this key? I want to access this value over here. So how can we target this? So here if we want to target this key 1, so how can we write, if we want to extract this key value here of this object over here, so we can write this person dot key 1. Okay, so we can access the value of this key 1 like this. So this is the uh, syntax of how to extract a property from an object. So in this way, with the help of dot, we can extract the value of this key 1. Okay, so here inside this, if we are inside this function only, so we can use, let me comment out this, we can use this keyword over here. This refers to the owner of the function, means this person over here. So we can use this dot key 1 like this. Okay, so we can use like this dot key 1 suppose, so it will give us the this value 1 value. Okay, this value over here, value 1. Okay, so what it refers to is it refers to the owner of the object over here, because we are initializing it inside an object. So here this refers to the this owner of the object, means this person over here. Suppose if we want to if we want to access like outside the object, suppose here we want to, suppose here we will write this dot key 1. Now it will not give us the value of this given property here, because it is not inside this function. Okay, if it is inside this function only, then this refers to the owner of this object. Actually, if we extract the value like this will not able to refer to its owner of the object. Here it is inside this that same object, so it is referring to the owner. Actually, the owner is here person. So here what we are doing is we are extracting this key 1 value inside this key property here with the help of this keyword. Here you can actually name this as it refers to the owner of this object over here. So if we want to extract this key 1 value from here using this keyword, it will not be accessible in outside this object. Suppose let's take an example over here. We'll comment this out. We'll take same example over here. Okay. We'll just comment this out over here, and inside this we'll use f name. We'll take some name over here, name, and here what we'll do is, here we'll take some key name over here, suppose full name, and what we want is we want to perform some function over here. So we'll use our function keyword here, and we want to perform function over here. So what we want is, we want to, here we are using function, so we want to return something. If you don't return something, it will not output the result inside this function. So what we want is, we want to access this over here, this dot f name over here, this f name property over here. So this refers to this object over here, because here you can see this function, this full name function is not the owner of this whole object. Main owner of the object is this person over here. So let us check whether it outputs the result or not. So we will output it in our paragraph here. So we'll cut and paste over here. So what we want is, we want to access this property over here. So here this is the property of this person over here. So how can we extract the value of this full name over here? So this is the value. Actually this is the key, and this whole is this function is the value over here. So how can we access the values of this full name? By using the object person dot and the property of that particular object. So here full name over here. So we will just save it and let us check whether it works or not. Just a minute. So here it is returning this dot f name. Actually I'm getting, okay, so what we are doing here is, it is a function over here. So just we'll use like this, and now let us check. Just a minute. What is the error over here? Sorry. We'll just put over here. Actually it is a function, so we are actually calling this function from here. Okay, so now it will be executed. So let us refresh. So now it is coming Rahul over here. So what we are doing here is, we are accessing this fname property out from inside the function only, but with the help of this keyword, because it is nested inside the function. Okay, it is first, this is an object, and inside this is a function over here. So we want to access this, so we can't directly access this person over here. So we are able to access this person with the help of this keyword over here. So like this we can access the owner of particular object or a particular function. Now we have seen this keyword, usage of this keyword in how do we use this keyword in an object. Now we'll perform some operations inside this, like inside the event handler, using this keyword. So what we'll do is, we'll suppose here we have our button over here. Okay, so here we have our button. So what we want is, we perform some on click event over here. So what we want is, suppose I want to change the color of the text over here. So button color actually. So this color over here. So here it is error handling. So I want to change the color of this text over here. So what we will do is, suppose we'll use this over here. This, suppose here is button. Okay, so we want to change the color of the button. This dot style dot color equals to, just a minute, I want to, here what I'll do is, I will use like this and use like this. Okay, so what we want is, here we are wrapping inside double quotes, so we have to use single quotes inside this particular string over here. So what we want is we want to use a red color over here. So like this we can save over here, and after clicking, what we want is we want to change the color to red. So we'll click it, so it is changing the color, it is changing the color to red. So what we have done here is we are just assigning a value, a color to this button. So how are we are doing this? So here this refers to this particular button over here, means the event object. Event object means the owner of the event object. Here we can understand like this. Suppose uh, we want to use this. Okay, so what is this over here? Is when we click onto this button, suppose we'll console log like click console log. Let me check if this works or not. Okay, so I will console log this over here, and let us check whether it gives the result or not. So we'll open our inspector, we'll click on it. So here you can see it is targeting this button over here. So we are console logging this. So this means this button over here. So here you can see we are console logging this over here, this keyword. So what it is giving, it is giving us this whole button over here. So what it means is this refers to the owner of the object, and owner of the event, here it is event, so it will consider it the owner of the event, means the owner of the event is this button itself. Okay, so it is pointing to this button over here. So we can, suppose we want to perform an inline function over here, inline function over here. So what we will do is we'll use this dot. Suppose we want to change the color. Okay, so we'll use this dot style dot color pointing to this button over here. So we want the color to be changed of this button. So here we'll give red over here. So like this we can change the color of this button over here. So you can also do it like this. You can perform a function over here. You can write my function over here, and you can suppose do it in this index12.js like this over here, function my function. You can do it in a different function, but if you want to do it in the same line, so you can do it with the help of this keyword. So this is really helpful when you work on big projects. Okay, so like when you have a class based component, actually when you have classes, so it is easy to use this because it refers to directly to the owner, means actually the class that it is holding. Suppose here like I'm taking an example, so I'm taking a class over here, class root over here. Okay, so inside this what we write, suppose we'll write some code over here. Okay, this is an object. Suppose here inside this suppose we are writing some code over here. Okay, some code over here. So inside this, if we use this keyword over here, so it will point to this root over here because this is the main owner of this class over here. So this is really helpful when you work with classes. So I can show you some more examples over here. Suppose go to our index file over here. So here I will do index13.js. So like you can access this particular this keyword over here. So we'll take some more examples. when this particular here we are using this with the help of this object. Okay, so here we are using this keyword in this person object. Suppose we want to use when we use this keyword alone. Okay, suppose like variable z equals to x, just a minute, like this, sorry, this. Okay, so like this, when we are using this keyword alone, means it refers to the global object. Okay, so in browsers, what happens is the global object refers to the window object. Okay, so like what we will do is we will just remove this and we'll just put this z over here. So what we are doing is we are just assigning this keyword over here to the z variable, and we are just outputting the result, and let's see what will be the result now. So here you can see it is giving us the object window. What it means is when this keyword is used alone, it refers to the global object, and when we are using when we are outputting it in a browser, means the global object is this window over here. Okay, so it is outputting the object, and then this is the global object over here inside this browser. This is called the this is the global object. This window is the global object over here. So we have seen it inside. How can we use this keyword inside an object? How can we use this? How What is the result when we use this keyword alone? Now we'll see what is the result when we use this keyword in a function over here. Okay, suppose inside the function, suppose what I do here is we'll just remove this, we'll comment out this over here, and now let's write a function over here. Function, my function, and here we'll write some code over here. We'll just return this over here. So we are returning this over here. This means nothing actually. Here it means actually nothing, because here it is not pointing to anything. So in order to like here we are writing our function here. So we need to call this function. Always remember, when we write a function, always call that function. Okay, if you will not call that function, call means execute that function in this way. Write the name of the function and just use parenthesis over here. So this is the syntax for calling a function. So if you will not do this, it will not execute the code inside that function. Okay, means when you will call this function over here, means it will execute this particular line of code that is inside this function over here. So let's see what is the result over here. Let's save it, and now we will see the same thing, object window, because when we use this keyword inside a function, it also refers to this window object, means the global object, as in the previous case. Means because this my function here, because this refers to the global object, and the global object is the window. Okay, so in the previous case, when we are assigning this variable z to this keyword over here, so we are getting the same output as we are getting in this particular case. Okay, so here we are returning this keyword inside a function, and here we are just outputting this z variable over here. So in both cases, we are returning a uh, global variable, actually global object, that is window object. So this has different values depending on where it is used. If it is used in a method, suppose here, so it refers to the owner of the object, means this person here. Okay, because this is the main owner of this function over here. Suppose when this is used alone, so it refers to the global object, that is like this object window over here. So this is the global object over here. When it is used in a function, same case is there, it refers to the global object, that is object window. And when we use this keyword in this event handler, here suppose here if we use in this on click event, so here this refers to the owner, means this event owner actually. So here it will actually refer to this button event. Okay, on click event, this is the on click event and it will refer to this button actually. So you can say that the like the element that receives the event, it actually this actually points to that element which has the particular event. So here we can see this button has this particular event over here, on click event. So this refers to this button element over here. So these are the various values depending upon the conditions in which this keyword is used. Now we will move to our next topic. Now we'll study about some of our ES6 features, that is let, const, arrow functions, these all. So we'll study in detail now. So let's make our new file over here, index 614.js. So here we'll give our topic as ES6. Okay, ES6. Okay. Now we'll study first our let, then our const and arrow functions that I've told you earlier. So these three features will use of ES6. So before ES6 means ECMAScript 2015, two scopes were there, global scope and local scope. Before 2015, when ES6 launched, then ES6 launched these two scope, let and const. Okay, so inside global scope we can declare the variables globally like this over here. So here you can see this is the local scope because it is declared inside the function, and this is the global scope, it is declared outside the function, means its value can be accessed from outside the function but its value cannot be accessed from outside the function. Okay, so these are the two differences between a local and global scope. Now comes let and const. So here we'll take some examples over here. Suppose I will show you like what is the use of variable keyword over here. So in before 2015, before ES6, suppose we'll take some example over here. Suppose we'll use variable z equals to 4. So we are declaring this variable z as 4. Now suppose we want to output this result over here inside the paragraph. So we'll use document dot get element by id dot inner html equals to z. So what we are doing is we are declaring inside this block scope over here. Okay, so we are mentioning this variable inside this block and we are accessing this z outside the block. Now let's see what is the result. So first we have to link this particular index file over here. We'll change the path over here. Now we can see the result. What is the result? So it is coming 4. So it can be accessible outside this block over here. So before 2015 we don't have this block scope over here. So Here you can see when we are using variable var, so we can access the variable value outside the block. Now what we'll do is we'll change it to let over here. We'll change it to let. Now we'll see the difference over here if we can access this z value inside this paragraph or not. We'll simply refresh it. So you can see now we cannot access the z value inside this paragraph. Why? Because the variables that are declared inside a block, when we are using let, we cannot access from outside the block. So we have to write this particular line inside this block over here. So now we can access this particular z value over here. So let's see what is the result. So now it is coming 4. Okay, so when we are using variable here, var over here, so we can access the z value from outside the block. But when we are using this let variable, so we can't use the z variable z value outside the block. So you can conclude that when we are using block scope, so if we use this let, so we can't like access the variable value from outside the block. We have to access the value from inside the block only. So we'll take one more example over here. We'll just comment this out and we will use another block over here and we'll assign another variable over here, and suppose I will take as variable a equals to 3, and here what we'll do is we'll take another variable, this same variable over here, and it will give another value over here, variable a equals to 7. So what we want is we want to access the a value outside the block. We want to access the a value from outside the block. So which value it will come? Okay, so here you have seen when we are using var keyword, so we can access the z value from outside the block. So here if we write this particular line, okay, so this a can be accessed, this a value, it can be accessed from inside the block. Okay, so what will be the a value? It should come 3 because here we are using var keyword. So we can access the a variable value from inside the block. Okay, so let's save it and see what is the result. So it is coming 3 because here we are using var. So sorry. So here we can use this particular value outside the block, and here suppose if we change it to let, so previously what we have seen here is if we use let, we can't access the z value from outside the block. So it will, here you can see like this let over here, let a means we will not able to access the a value from outside the block. We have to declare it inside this block, otherwise we're not able to access it. So this a value will be this over here 7. So it is like it is initialized before the block, so it will take this a value over here. So let's see now what is the result over here. So now it is coming 7 because it is initialized before the block, it is not inside the block. So here we are using let. So like you can, like when we use let, so let variable what it does is it does not it does not access the value from outside the block. Okay, but when we use var keyword, its value can be accessed from outside the block, but in let case we can't access the value from outside the block, it can be accessed only from within the block. We can also use a for loop in order to understand the difference between let and var. So here you can see this block. So I haven't mentioned any loop here. So now what I will do is I will just comment it out and I will use a for loop over here. So I will just use for loop, and inside this we'll use var keyword variable I. So I'm initializing the I with some value over here. So I'm initializing it with 0. I am giving a condition over here, I should be less than 10, and I'm incrementing the I on after every loop. So here our code will be, suppose here some code will be present here. Okay, so what I want is, we want to access this I. Now I will use another variable, sorry, the same variable with another value over here. So I will give it 18, suppose. So here what I will do is, I want to access the value of I. So here when we are using variable var keyword, so you can see here we can access the var keyword from outside the block. So here you can see when the loop starts, so you can see the last value of I will be 10, because I should be less than 10. Okay, so the last value should be 10. So here the result should be 10. Okay, because we can access the the value of I from outside the block, because we are using the var keyword here. So let us check what is the value over here. So we'll refresh. So here you are getting I equals to 10, because here this value over here, because after every loop we are incrementing, so the last value will be 10 over here. So here the I value will be 10 over here. So this output is shown here outside the block. Here suppose what I will do is, I will remove this var and I will use let suppose over here. So let us check now what will be the result. So now we are getting 18, because 18 is 18 is assigned to I before the block. Okay, so it is not included in the block. So here you can see this value cannot be assigned, this I value cannot be assigned twice over here. Okay, first it is assigned I, so it cannot be accessed from outside the block. So let variable value cannot be accessed from outside the block. If we'll use this keyword over here, so we can access the I from inside the block in this case over here. Okay, so this is the main difference between var and let. So here we talked about the differences between var and let, where we get which result. Okay, so we are talking the differences inside a block. What will happen if suppose var will be there or let will be there inside this block over here. So now we'll talk about what will happen if we initialize it inside a function over here. Suppose here we'll comment this out, and let's suppose we'll write a function over here, function, my function. So we'll write a function over here. Suppose here I will initialize with variable x equals to 2, and now I will write another function over here, and I'll take let x equals to 4 over here, suppose. So in both the cases it will be similar. Okay, here we are getting different results, but in this case when it will be inside a function, it will get the same result over here. So here in both the cases it will act similarly. Okay, so in both the cases, here inside the function scope, both will come like the similar results will come inside a function over here. So now here we'll see one more thing. We'll comment out this over here. So note one thing, we cannot redeclare a variable. Okay, means when we use suppose we'll give our topic let. So with the help of this let over here, we we can't reassign a variable twice inside a just a minute inside a block. Okay, so when we are using let over here, we can't reassign the variable, but when we use var over here, so we can just copy this over here and we can reassign a variable twice inside a block. Okay, twice or thrice we can't reassign a block, reassign a variable, and we can reassign a variable inside a block. So let us take some example over here. Suppose we will use, suppose here when we assign initialize this value over here, variable x equals to 10. Now we can reassign this variable with another value x equals to 20. So the result will come the last updated result. Okay, the last updated value means here if we check the value of x, it will come as 20. So here we'll just check what is the result. So here it is coming 20 because it is the last updated value. First we are taking x as 10, then we are updating the value of this variable over here. So we can reassign a variable twice, thrice, or any times. Okay, n times. Suppose here we will take 18 and let's save it and check now what is the value. So if we rearrange the order, suppose I will use this after this and I will use this at the last. Now you will see 10 will be our result over here because it is coming at the last. Okay, so the last value will be the result over here. But in that case, we can't reassign a value inside a block. Suppose over here, I will use, suppose here I'll take only one value over here and I will take one let value. Let x equals to 12 suppose. So we are taking first a with the var keyword. We are initializing this x with a var keyword and then with a let keyword. Now inside this we'll copy this and we'll assign the same thing, but we'll change the value. So here what we are doing is here we can't assign the variable twice. Okay, sorry, we can't assign the let keyword twice. Here you can see first we are assigning x as 12, then we are assigning x as 4. So it is not allowed. Actually here you can see, so variable x equals to 10. So x is getting, x has the value of 10. Now here we can't reassign the variable with the let keyword. If we use var over here, so we can now assign the value, but when we use this let over here, we can't reassign the value of this x. Okay, so in the same case here we are using var keyword over here and then we are reassigning this x variable a different value over here. So we can't do this. Okay, so it is allowed, it is not allowed. So like this is allowed and this is not allowed. Okay, so with the help of let we can't reassign a variable, but with the var keyword we can reassign a variable multiple times. Now suppose what we'll do is we will use another block. Suppose here I will take let y equals to 10 over here and we'll suppose another block we'll take y as 12. So this is two different blocks, so we can assign the different values in the same variable if they are in different blocks. If we are using the let keyword, so if the let variable is inside another blocks. Okay, so we can reassign a variable if they are in the same block, so we can't reassign a variable. So this is the main condition over here. So in short, you can in short, we can conclude that we can't reassign a variable inside a block with the help of let keyword, but with the where keyword we can reassign a variable inside a block. So this is the most important part. Inside we can't reassign a variable inside a block. Okay, so here you can see we can reassign a variable into two different blocks. First, this let is inside one block, and then this let is inside another block. So we can reassign a variable into two different blocks. Okay, suppose here we can take let y equals to 6. So we can also do this because it is a global scope. This is the function scope. These two are different scopes, and this is a different scope. Okay, so we can assign like this, but inside the same block with the help of let we can't reassign a variable. And one more thing, this let keyword is not supported in all the browsers. So it is supported from Chrome 49 onwards. In the Explorer, it is supported from Internet Explorer 11 onwards, and in Firefox 44 onwards. So it is not supported on all browsers. So it has some conditions over it. Okay. So now we will move on to our const keyword over here. So what is the use of const keyword? So it is quite similar to the let variable, but here in const, with the help of const keyword we can't reassign a variable. Suppose here just I will comment this over here and write some with the help of const. So we write const by using by like this. Okay, const, and then the variable over here const x equals to 14. So we are declaring this variable with the value of 14. So what I will do is I will give another x equals to x plus 12. So I am doing it like this. So what we are doing is we are first assigning this variable with the value of 14 with the help of const keyword, and then we are changing the value of this x variable. So we can't do like this. Okay, suppose I will save it and let's see what happens over here. So here you can see nothing is coming over here. So here you can see we are getting an error assignment to constant variables because, and you can see the line over here. So 50. So here it is giving the 55th line. Okay. So here in this 55th line we can't reassign a constant variable. So here we are assigning this x as 14 with the help of this const keyword. So we can't reassign the x with a new value as here we are doing the with the help of var keyword. So we can reassign a reassign a variable with the help of var keyword, but we can't reassign a variable with the help of const keyword. Okay. So now when comes to the block scope, this is the block scope example. Okay. So here if we see the example, so it is quite similar to the let case. Okay. So suppose I will take variable, just a minute, I will just remove it, and here I will take variable x equals to any value. So I am taking x as a random value, and now we will assign this const x equals to 14 in this inside this block over here. So what we'll get is here you can see we are assigning this const over here. Okay, so we are having the x value as 14 over here, and here we are outputting the x variable. So what we'll get is here you can see we can't assign, we can't extract the value that is declared with the const keyword or let keyword. In the let case also, we can't extract the variable value when it is declared inside a block. So here we'll get this value over here 1 2 3. Let's save it and see what is the result. So here we are getting 1 2 3 because this is assigned globally and this is inside a block with the help of const keyword. So we can't extract the we can't extract the x value from here. Here we'll take another example of an object over here. So if we suppose take an example, suppose we'll declare it with the person, suppose, and we'll give some property name over here, f name Ashish, and now the second property I'll take l name Kumar. So I'm taking a person object, I'm declaring this person object with the help of const keyword over here, and we are assigning some object properties over here. So what we'll do is, if we change this const person equals to, we'll take same thing and we'll take another property over here age 23, and I will take suppose id as 2. So I'm taking two values over here, two properties over here, and first we are taking this person object, and the second we are assigning the person object another properties. So here if we suppose output the person object over here, so what we'll get? So what we'll get is, we'll not get anything over here, we'll get an error. Okay, so we'll check. So here you can see identifier person has already been declared and we aren't getting anything over here. So why are we getting the error over here? Because when we assign the object with the help of const keyword, we can't reassign that object twice. Okay, so once we have assigned the variable or an object, we can't reassign that object twice. So just like comment this, and now let's check what is the result. So we are getting object. Okay, so now it is coming object because this is object. So if we suppose handle the property name f name over here, okay, suppose now let's save it. So it should get Ashish. Okay, so we are getting Ashish over here. Suppose here what we are doing is, we are reassigning this person over here. Okay, so what we want is, we want to change this value over here. Okay, so we can, what we can do is, we can suppose we can access that property, this value over here, with the help of person dot f name, and if suppose I want to change that value to Ankit. Now we are changing the object, but here you can see we are using the const keyword over here, and we are initializing this person with the help of const keyword. So what will be the result, if it will change or not? Okay, so now it will change because we are not directly changing the person object over here, we are changing the property that is inside the person. Okay, so let's see what is the result over here. So now we are changing the f name to Ankit. So let us see the result over here. So now it has been changed to Ankit. So when we are reassigning this person object over here, so it is not taking that person, it is giving us the error. But when we are changing the property inside that person, it will change that particular value, because we are not changing that particular person object, we are changing the property inside that person object, we are not directly changing that person. Okay, so the same case will be with arrays. Okay, we can change the array values, but we can't reassign the array twice. Okay, so this is the difference between const, var, and let. Okay, so const can also be suppose const is not supported in all browsers. It is supported from Chrome 48 version onwards and Internet Explorer 10 onwards. Okay, now we'll do some more. We'll do some more examples over here. So what we'll do is here. Uh, Suppose first I will assign the const value. Suppose 4. So we have assigned this x variable as 4 with the help of const keyword. So we can't change this x value now. Okay, because when we assign with the help of const keyword, we can't reassign that variable with another value. Okay, if we suppose assign with the help of is assigned inside a block with the help of const keyword. Suppose const x equals to 6. So now we can like get the result as 6 over here. So this is allowed over here. Okay, suppose here if we use let x equals to 7. Okay, so it is not allowed because here we are first assigning this x variable with the help of const keyword. Okay, so we can't reassign the same variable with another value over here. Okay, so we have to remove this. So this is the case, we can't reassign a variable when we use const. Okay, so this is the same as like let keyword. Okay, so it is quite similar with the help with the let keyword. So these are the main differences between let, const, and var. Now we'll move forward to our arrow functions in the next lecture.